You accidentally put in an hour more community service than needed, now you have to do 1 hour of community disservice. What do? Go around and turn off the automatic doors at grocery stores. It's easier than you think. This is my biggest takeaway from working retail. Literally anyone could just walk in and turn the automatic doors off, depending on the store. How? Also, how quickly would they notice? Could it be done without them discovering it was me? In the store I worked in, there was just a little switch at the top of the doors that had 3 positions, one for automatic, one to hold the door open, and one to close the door and turn it off. If an employee was nearby, they would definitely know what you were doing, but if no one's around, then no one would be the wiser. Unless there's a camera nearby. Unless there's a camera nearby, there's always a camera nearby. I mean, we are all wearing masks nowadays. Are we, though? Are we all wearing masks? Because sometimes it feels like I'm the only one. It might depend on where you live. Upvoted for that extra cheeky, it's easier than you think. Edit, I already felt like he was daring me to do it. Now with this award, I feel like it's my duty. It is literally a red switch, typically to the right side of the door. You could lean against the wall saying you feel a pebble in your shoe or something and casually press it. Out of order signs on all public bathrooms. You know you only try to use then because it's an emergency. Leave one open so there will just be a huge line, and sell hot dogs on the side. Inconvenience and profit. Intelligence is selling hot dogs in a toilet lineup. Wisdom is knowing that people lining up for a toilet, and a public one at that, isn't a suitable market for hot dogs. Line up for the toilet, have a public toilet hot dog. By the time you eat it, you're front of the toilet queue and never more ready for it. May not be wise, but it's definitely getting 5 stars on Yelp for necessity. Spend an hour going to gas stations and putting bags on handles. Now nobody knows what works and what doesn't. Ops said disservice not make society collapse. No, he wants to place random bags. I say random bags and remove bags from actual faulty ones. F you. That's pure evil. What if the so-called broken ones are covered because they give out free gas and they don't want anyone getting free gas? Only one way to find out. Some men just want to watch the world sputter out and ruin an entire afternoon. Can somebody explain? I'm an Irishman living in New Hampshire and I've never dealt with bags in this situation. So basically, the bags are just little plastic covers that show when a self-service fuel pump is out of service. In this case, I'd cause about an hour's worth of confusion. Lamau, I live in NJ and was confused as I can't remember seeing bags anytime, but remembered why that might be when you said self-service. I'm going to go flex tape some parked cars together. I want to see this. Flex tape is the worst. Honest question, is it? I've seen the commercials, obviously, never once thought about buying it. Is it bad? It is so sticky and tough to cut. Not even joking, took me like 5 minutes to cut one piece and then the residue got stuck to the scissors. Then when I was washing the scissors I cut my thumb open, good times. So did you then put flex tape on your thumb to hold the cut shut? Well, that's because you're not using it underwater. And you'd need Flex Seal to fix your boat. Go on my town Facebook discussion page and start a rumor that the local school district is going to do a complete 180 on the school plan for the year. Sprinkle in some references to a mandate from, insert Democrat/Republican official your area doesn't like here, for extra points. Super extra bonus points for getting it simultaneously blamed on both parties, causing yet more confusion. That latter bit sounds like you have some experience in Michigan politics. So, a distributed denial of service attack, then? I was only thinking about causing a panic. A twofer. Breaking leaf bags and spreading them back on people's yards. This reminds me of the time when I lived in West Texas. I was in 7th grade, everyone's trees had just dropped all their leaves overnight. My little brother and I imagined doing a huge leaf pile like in the movies, so we raked up all the leaves in people's yards on our street, bagged them, brought them home, and made a huge pile. We stunk horribly like rotted leaves after jumping in it, and learning leaves aren't cushiony at all. It is still a good memory though, lol. This reminds me of when I was very drunk and ran through a field of tall grass, only to have my feet get tangled up in a bramble patch that I went headfirst into. I was pulling thorns out all the next morning, late morning/early afternoon. It was about 15 seconds of "this is awesome," and then 5 minutes of yelling for help, followed by a very rough next day. Somehow it's still a good memory. Can't quite figure out why. That kind of reminds me of when I was like 6 and took off on my family's four-wheeler. I hated driving next to my brothers on their dirt bikes, so I went off the trail and ended up going into a ditch that had electrical crap in it. My eldest brother went down there to get me and I was completely under the ATV. It squished me and I got electrocuted by the live wires. I honestly don't know how I'm alive, by the way they tell me the story. I remember the ATV flipping as I fell and it being on me, but I don't remember hearing the crack. I just know it felt like I was waking up as my older brother was carrying me back to the truck to our parents. Edit. Crack is in electricity. They all said they heard it. Please tell us this was you and or your brother's superhero origin story? Like you are crippled but have control over electricity while your brother is a sweet, kind, generous muscle-bound giant. You monster. You insidious, deciduous, monster. High-end car dealerships. Is this a reference to one of the threads above, vice versa, or is it a reference to something completely different? Scatter a bunch of bread, or other food, to attract seagulls in a really obnoxious place. High-end car dealerships, web link. Get a good parking place at a busy store and act like I'm about to leave, but don't. I've thought about this too. Just put it in reverse, and sit there all day. Pull in and out like you are readjusting your park job. See, if people think you're just adjusting your parking, then they know you aren't leaving, and this is not a vacant parking spot, but if you've got your reverse lights on, they think you're about to leave, and will wait to snatch your spot. How long until they give up and move on, or murder you, is the name of the game. GM laughing as they turn reverse lights on when just hitting unlock with the fob. Yeah, what the F's up with that? Threw me off for a while. I'm in a GM-like owners forum where they send us surveys and such all the time. I asked specifically this and explain how it's stupid and no one likes it. They said it's for safety at night to see if anyone's lurking around. Okay, I see that, but still it's not even an option to turn it off in the menus. I honestly can't believe that there isn't some regulation about that. A car's reverse light should only turn on when the car is in the reverse gear. And turn signals should always be amber. Edit. I was behind some sporty boy yesterday, not too rich a car but more fun than my Forester. The turn signal was a tiny red rectangle below the brake light and beside the reflector. I had no idea they were signaling until they let off the brake during the turn. If they had to stop for deer or something, their hazards would be invisible. Edit 2, made some images to demonstrate. Edit 3, and that's my first medal. Thanks. Here's my favorite smiley. Edit 4, I'm not talking about the blinkers that cycle the brake light on that side. That would have somehow been better in this instance. Though I agree that those should also be swapped for a proper amber setup. Web link. God damn. I remembered something from college that pissed me off. The town had a 24 hours parking limit, and we'd just gotten a huge snowstorm, but I had to move my car to keep from getting a ticket. So I went out, spent half an hour shoveling out my car, and about 15 minutes in, I noticed a jerk-off sitting in the street waiting for me to finish so he could take my spot. Yes, this butthole sat in the road for 15 minutes waiting for my spot. I wanted to tell him to get out of his damn car and help, but I changed my mind. Instead, I finished shoveling out my car, then walked back to my house and moved my car later. I felt so damn good. I was shoveling out my car once and a guy actually did stop and help and ask if he could have my spot. I was like, I'll give you my firstborn if you help me unbury my car. Years ago, a friend and I did this. We were bored teens. During one holiday season, we would see who could keep a car waiting for a spot the longest. We developed our skills and playbook. Once they finally gave up, We would make sure that the car right behind them got it. It doesn't seem that long, but a good time was around 5 minutes. Normal, upstanding citizens become unglued maniacs at about 4 minutes of inconvenience. We turn saints into sociopaths. You're actually a sociopath. I'm eating an In-N-Out. Hitting all the buttons in elevators. Tall buildings actually sort of protect for this. To keep elevators as efficient as possible, each elevator only serves about 20 floors. That way, if you're going to like floor 85 and someone left the Shabbat settings on, it won't be that bad. You can just take the stairs at the first unnecessary stop. I learned about this in a book about 9/11. Where I live, skyscrapers are illegal, so I'd never seen this before. DC? A place in Canada. BC? Let's meet in the middle at CC and call it a day. Closed captioning provided by Raid, Shadow Legends. Tall buildings actually sort of protect for this. To keep elevators as efficient as possible, each elevator only serves about 20 floors. How does that work? I feel like that's still exploitable. Edit. Wow, a lot of elevator enthusiasts on Reddit, huh? That's not really what that's for. It helps optimize traffic. It does to a small extent, I guess. Like if you're going to floor 75 and the elevator is 60 to 80, you can at least get to 60 fast and then take stairs. Closing doors before the dude behind me gets in. He speeds up, noticing you're holding the door for him. You close it right in his face, whilst making direct eye contact. Power move. Dwight was right about y'all. We need a new plague. Another one? Really? I think one is plenty enough. Opening doors for people while they are awkwardly far away. You mean being Canadian? As a Canadian, I especially liked doing this when I had a mohawk. Bonus points if it was an elderly person. The shock on their faces was priceless. Is malicious benevolence a term yet? That's so awesome. I'm a fan of people that have wild colors in their hair and are kind to the kids that think they're some kind of fairy for having blue hair. You sound like you fall into the same category. Rock on, dude. That's so awesome. I'm a fan of people that are fans of people that have wild colors in their hair and are kind to the kids. Finding all the construction sites and walking through the wet cement or spreading glitter everywhere I go. Combine the two. Dump glitter into the footprints. Or spread cement wherever you go. Or, spread glittery cement wherever you go, but it also has stakes in it. Assuming the government is paying for the disservice. Stakes, or streaks? No, that's art. Got to spread glitter just everywhere. Make sure it's that super huge noticeable crap. New plan, eat several pounds of glitter and poop on the courthouse steps. That can be pressure washed off. Got to poop in wet cement. Gone be a glittery turd indentation. Mail a glitter bomb to someone who deserves it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.